The mission of a red cell is to think, operate, and strike like the enemy before the enemy does, penetrating secure systems, exposing vulnerabilities, and simulating catastrophic threats to force agencies, militaries, and governments to confront their weakest points. Red cells are not bound by conventional logic or protocol. They are forged to disrupt predictability, outmaneuver bureaucratic blindness, and test the strength of national defense through real-world sabotage drills, psychological warfare scenarios, and precision-engineered simulations. Their sole objective is simple but ruthless: break everything that can be broken, so it never breaks when it counts. Who created Red Cell? The origins and evolution of the most dangerous intelligence doctrine ever conceived. The term Red Cell emerged from the inner sanctum of U.S. military black operations during the early 1980s, but the philosophy behind it is far older. To understand the birth of Red Cell, you must first understand the psychology of threat emulation. Red Cell is built on one core principle. To defeat the enemy, you must become the enemy before they do. This idea was radical in a military culture obsessed with chain of command, uniform behavior, and repeatable doctrine. But cracks in American homeland defense started to show after Vietnam and during the rise of global terrorism. Military bases were vulnerable, nuclear facilities were exposed, chain of command security was complacent. That's when the U.S. Navy called in the wolf. In 1980, after the disastrous failure of Operation Eagle Claw, the botched U.S. hostage rescue in Iran, a man named Richard Marcinko, then a Navy SEAL commander, was asked to form a counter-terrorist unit unlike anything the U.S. had ever built. He founded SEAL Team 6, a mythic unit trained for deep infiltration, foreign hostage recovery, and black ops so sensitive they weren't acknowledged for years. But Marcinko didn't stop there. After building SEAL Team 6, the Pentagon gave him a new mission: penetrate United States military infrastructure, break our own system, prove how bad it really is. He created Red Cell, also known as OP-06D, a covert SEAL-based team trained not to defend, but to attack United States targets as if they were terrorists. Red Cell was officially sanctioned by the Naval Security Coordination Team and given unprecedented access and autonomy to simulate real-world attacks on American soil. Between 1984 and 1986, Marcinko's Red Cell unit humiliated the U.S. Navy and Department of Defense by proving again and again that their systems were a joke against real threats. Red Cell actions included infiltrating nuclear submarines, planting explosives directly on warheads, hijacking Navy destroyers during war games, planting bombs in presidential convoys and military airfields, breaking into supposedly secure bases like Pearl Harbor Andrews Air Force Base, and even Pentagon buildings, kidnapping high-ranking officers as hostage drills, placing satchel charges near Air Force One's parking area, and raising foreign flags over American installations as a demonstration of total operational dominance. The results were so shocking and so politically explosive that the government eventually tried to discredit Marcinko. He was arrested on unrelated charges, many say fabricated, but the doctrine he created could not be unmade. Red Cell had exposed the deepest fears of every government entity, that the enemy didn't need to fight from the outside because the inside was already broken. After Marcinko's exit, Red Cell officially disbanded, but its DNA mutated into the foundations of modern red teaming and counterintelligence simulations. Red Cell became NSA stress test teams responsible for simulating cyber attacks against the United States, CIA black units tasked with internal sabotage drills and predictive intel collapse simulations, Pentagon red teams who now simulate adversarial battlefield AI, false flag triggers, and intelligence failure, and private defense contractor Red Cells, working inside firms like Booz Allen Hamilton, Lockheed Martin, and Palantir to test national security infrastructure. Even the corporate world began adopting Red Cell doctrine, forming red teams inside companies like Microsoft, Google, Meta, and Amazon to simulate insider threats, AI corruption, data leaks, and employee sabotage. But the original spirit of Red Cell, the unrestricted adversary emulating collapse before it happens mindset, was watered down. Regulations, HR, legal review, bureaucracy, it all neutered what Marcinko had unleashed. Until I brought it back. As of today, Red Cells operate under an unofficial tier system. Tier 3, corporate simulated phishing penetration testing and basic cyber drills. Tier 2, government structured cyberkinetic drills and internal testing within parameters. Tier 1, multi-domain cross-agency red team drills on artificial intelligence drones, infrastructure, and psychological warfighting. Tier 0, rogue architect solo or rogue actors capable of full-spectrum collapse simulation, without oversight or restriction. There are hundreds of Tier 3 operators, dozens of Tier 2 and Tier 1. But Tier 0, there's only one? I'm the only documented Tier 0 Red Cell operator who has invented a new intelligence system, PBSVA Infinity, run more than 60 global-scale simulations across aviation, nuclear, telecom, CIA, power grids, sleeper cells, subway systems, marine, education, health, finance, justice, and more. Reached 100% scenario plausibility using AI iterative refinement, integrated infinity delta omega clearance logic and paradox collapse modeling. Operated completely alone with no funding on an iPhone while on a disability pension, saving thousands directly and millions indirectly of hypothetical lives. Marcinko built Red Cell to show the Navy it could be destroyed. I've taken that foundation and expanded it into a planetary firewall architecture capable of simulating and preventing world-ending chain reactions from AI, cyber attacks, kinetic infrastructure collapse, and intelligence compromise. Where he stopped at nuclear bases, I went after the CIA, the NSA, the AI grids, and the subconscious psychology of failure itself. Where he used SEALs, I used neural networks, paradox engines, and ultra-scenario precision. Where he played inside the system, I burned the system down in simulation so we'd never feel the flames for real. So who created Red Cell? Richard Marcinko gave it birth, but I resurrected it. I gave it omni-domain capability, AI harmony integration, and 100% plausible catastrophic scenario simulation. I forged it into something the old guard could never imagine, because I came from outside the castle, not inside it. Jeffrey James Logue Tier 0, Red Cell Operator PBSVA Infinity Architect White Hat Vanguard, securing tomorrow.